Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and today I need to talk about the massive Destiny 2 news we got today, as well as why I'm excited about the near future of the game. I know the community has been down on D2 for quite some time. It's felt stale in a lot of ways, but it really feels like Into the Light is going to be the first step in the right direction towards the game having a massive comeback. It feels like it's Warmind all over again if you were around for that expansion, leading into Forsaken, which was an absolute banger. So let me go over the reasons that I am so excited. Firstly, I need to talk about Pantheon. They only tease this a little bit, but it is a raid boss gauntlet activity arriving on April 30th. Crazy to think about. Free for all players, features weekly challenges with escalating difficulties and rewards, provides a way to earn emblems, exotics, and adept weapons you may not have had already, and we'll get more details in the future. If you had told me a month ago that Destiny 2 was getting a Horde mode and a raid boss gauntlet, I would have called you insane. But here we are. These are things that I think could have long-lasting effects on the health of Destiny 2. The reason I say that is a Horde mode is a great way to test builds, especially escalating difficulty. They can always add new weapons, new maps to the rotation, new locations, and that can really benefit a Horde mode to make it last a long time. And same thing with Pantheon. A raid boss gauntlet can get additional bosses in the future to farm, especially as raids come into the game, and maybe not as soon as the raid launches, but 6 months down the line, we get them added to the raid boss gauntlet. We get additional chances to earn those exotics you might have missed in a way that feels very different than just doing a full raid if you've done that raid a ton of times already. And I think the raid boss gauntlet would be a fascinating way to test out your builds. Overall, both of these, while reusing some content and stuff like that, I think is the perfect way to do so, and is very exciting overall, and is something that I think a lot of endgame players should be excited for, especially if you're looking to really test yourself and see how far you can go with some of these activities. Now, those are my main reasons to be excited, but we also know that next week we are getting the Final Shape gameplay live stream, and this is also very, very exciting for a couple reasons. One, I think it is absolutely perfect timing, as we will be getting this live stream in the lead up to the new Into the Light free content. So everyone who plays Destiny can get hyped up after the live stream and jump back into the game and experience some new content, some reissued weapons that are very exciting with new perks. You can go and chase some rewards. You can check out the other changes they made. They made improvements to PvP. They've made improvements to some other things in the game as well. And I think overall it's the perfect time to get people excited and get them back into Destiny 2 heading into the next big expansion. And you don't want to wait till the last minute. One, because you want people pre-ordering the expansion, obviously, but more importantly, you want them to have builds and gear ready for the expansion so they don't jump into the hard mode of the campaign and absolutely struggle. So that's a good way to get people back into the game prior to the expansion. I'm very excited about all that. It does sound like April and May are going to be much busier for the game than I expected. Obviously, in April, we have Into the Light launching next week, and then end of the month, we have Pantheon. We also have exotic missions coming back, which I'll tell you about, but also we have new Crucible maps dropping in May. These are going to be Eventide Labs in Europa, Cirrus Plaza in Neomuna, and Dissonance on Earth Orbit, which is the Triangle ships. And all of these are really geared towards 3v3 and small 6v6 maps, so I think they'll play very well, and I'm excited. I think these are good changes. There's going to be a separate node you can check out, the 3v3 rotator, for just these new maps, which will really give you a chance to feel out how they play. I think that's very exciting after the changes we got to some of the metas in Destiny 2. I think Crucible is in a pretty good spot overall, and it's a good time to have people jumping back in to check out. Now, Other than that, if you're not interested in PvP, they also have reprised the Whisperer coming back as well as 0 Hour. Whisperer is coming back first and then 0 Hour later on. This also means that we are getting craftable versions of the Whisperer, the Worm sniper rifle, as well as the Outbreak Perfected, both of which have roles that sound very juicy. So I think both of these will be farmable, and if you already have the catalysts for either one of them, you will automatically be able to craft them with the catalyst. If you don't, you'll actually be able to craft them with the catalyst once you complete the harder difficulty, the legend version of the exotic mission. Now, the exotic mission for Outbreak Perfected 0 Hour is going to be a little bit different, and also has a 40-minute timer for normal mode and then a 20-minute timer for the hard mode. And I think that is going to really test some people and see how good their builds are. Obviously, Trevor's coming back for that. If you missed him, absolutely insane. One of the best pieces of content ever added to Destiny 2. And yeah, changes are also coming to the Whisperer mission as well. And that's one of my favorites. I used to help people run that all the time, and I absolutely love that it is returning, because it's such a good piece of content that is very nice to see back in the game. I'm really excited to see. It sounds like Whisperer of the Worm might be one of the DPS metas going forward, if all of the buffs that it's getting, as well as the changes to the craftable version, are to be believed. And then Outbreak Perfected is probably going to be pretty insane overall. You might want to craft a separate version for PvP and PvE though, but there's a very good chance it'll save people on their DPS phase, depending on how low they run on ammo, if we get really difficult content coming back in the final shape. So all that is very, very exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what else they have in store for us with the final shape, because I was worried after seeing everything they're dropping with Into the Light that they have kind of shown us too much. This is way too much content for them to drop now, and we would lose some of that for the final shape, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Everything that they've hinted at is that this is all completely separate and nothing has been taken away from the final shape, which I think is absolutely massive. And overall, I'm really excited. I can't wait. I think this is going to be very, very good. And I think Into the Light is the perfect time to come back to Destiny 2 as you're waiting for the final shape in order to farm gear. You can do everything you've missed in the season so far. If you did not play the season at all, you can get ready for the final shape with your builds, test out what the new metas are for you personally. If you have certain options, certain favorite weapons that you want to run, maybe you haven't played in a while, and they have done a lot of buffs and nerfs to different things. So overall, I think this is a great time to jump back in the game. But I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you ready to come back to Destiny 2, or is it too little too late for the game for you to get excited? You're going to have to wait and see what we have in store and where the game is going from here. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more Destiny 2 content from me as well. My name is JoPa. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.